Dyslexia isn't about seeing words backwards. It's about how the brain processes language. This is Cheryl and Ashley from Tutoring Excellence. Dyslexia is not a vision problem. It has nothing to do with eyesight or seeing letters backward. Dyslexia is about sound-based neurodevelopmental learning disorder that affects how the brain processes spoken language and connects sounds to written symbols. Reading is not something the brain is born knowing how to do. We learn to read by first learning to hear, recognize, and then work with sounds, then mapping those sounds to letters and words. When the brain has difficulty processing sounds clearly, those sound-to-letter connections do not become automatic. This breakdown, called sound symbol mapping, makes reading and spelling slow, effortful, and exhausting. Dyslexia primarily affects reading and spelling, but it can also impact writing, fluency, comprehension, and even math. How common is dyslexia? Some may ask. Dyslexia is the most common learning disorder, affecting an estimated 5 to 17.5% of children, and it is just as common in adults. Because dyslexia is lifelong, people do not outgrow it, but the challenges can change and improve significantly with the right instruction and support. Dyslexia looks different in different people. Dyslexia does not look the same in everyone. Reading involves many skills, and individuals may struggle more in some areas than others. Difficulties can range from mild to severe and may change over time. Common areas of difficulty include decoding, sounding out words, encoding or spelling, fluency, reading accurately and at the appropriate pace, written expression, reading comprehension, especially as texts become more complex. The warning signs of dyslexia in children can appear as early as preschool, before formal reading instruction begins. Difficulty learning or recognizing rhymes, trouble learning letter sounds, mispronouncing words, delayed speech compared to peers, limited interest in letter sounds, or early reading activities. As reading begins, a key sign is difficulty sounding out and blending words, along with persistent spelling challenges, often spelling words phonetically rather than correctly. What causes dyslexia? Well, dyslexia is caused by differences in how the brain develops and functions. Brain imaging studies show that people with dyslexia use different neural pathways when reading and processing language. Dyslexia also runs in families, suggesting a strong genetic component. Research continues to identify genetic differences linked to reading and language processing. Is there a cure? Well, there is no cure or medication for dyslexia, but there is effective evidence-based help. Structured literacy instruction based on the Orton-Gillingham approach can significantly improve reading, spelling, and writing. Widely used programs include the Barton Reading and Spelling System and Wilson Reading System. Effective instruction is structured and sequential, explicit and systematic, multisensory, focused on strengthening phonological processing. Research shows that proper instruction doesn't just improve skills, it can change how the brain functions, building new neural pathways for reading. Early intervention is best, but it is never too late. Adults, including those in later life, can still make meaningful progress with the right instruction. Moving forward, a dyslexia diagnosis can be empowering. It opens the doors to specialized reading instruction, school accommodations and support, workplace accommodations for adults, greater self-understanding and confidence. Parents can advocate by partnering with teachers, monitoring their children's progress, and learning about their child's educational rights. Adults may benefit from disclosing dyslexia at work to access reasonable accommodations. Dyslexia is not a measure of intelligence or effort. It is a difference in how the brain processes language. And with the right support, it does not have to limit success. If your child is struggling with reading or showing signs of dyslexia, early evaluation is essential. Using diagnostic assessment, we identify signs of dyslexia and conduct additional testing to determine whether reading difficulties are caused by dyslexia or other underlying issues. Contact Tutoring Excellence today to learn how we can help.